ready here.
And we're going to get things started momentarily. But anyway, yeah, so what about that last game, man? IdrA holds off the bunker push really early, and then he just shut down every single drop that Artist tried to throw at him until Artist convinced himself that he needed to play that heavy army style. Yeah. Just sitting back thinking, that is exactly what I want you to do.
Yeah, I think it was really cool. I've got more to say about that. But first, at the top of the map, we have our Terran player from the team Rain. It is Artist. Cheer for Artist, someone please. All right.
And his opponent here in the top left-hand corner, up 1-0, is Evil Genius's IdrA. Give a cheer if you want IdrA to close out the set. Haha, I got the popular one that time.
I guess so. You know, Artist, he really is a great Terran player. He's someone that we haven't seen a lot yet in a lot of tournaments. You know, look for this guy in the future for sure. This is kind of his chance to sort of show off his skills. He's gotten this far, so it's a good start.
Yeah, very much so. And he's already secured himself $1,000 by running through the open brackets.
Really?
We saw him in the finals against Puma yesterday of the winners bracket, so he advanced very far in. And let's take a look at what he's got to offer here. He picks Crevasse, so maybe thinking he's going to take that very, very fast expansion and try and gain an equal econ footing against his Zerg opponent.
Well, it's interesting. He picked a macro map for a macro Zerg. But you know what? I got to say, for a macro, you know, everybody knows IdrA as a macro Zerg. But last game, I really, really liked how he stayed on 2 bases until he was absolutely sure he would be safe to take that third. He didn't wait too long. He didn't do it too early. He did it at exactly the right time. That was very cool to see.
And yeah, so Artist deciding not to go ahead and super quick CC. The Pain User is actually adamant that you can actually CC first and still hold some sort of cheesy pool play on this one, just given the size of the map. I have yet to see a situation where that's tested, but looks like Artist going to throw down that Barracks first. Although I assume we're probably going to see some sort of a Hellion expand or quick expand.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we talked about this all day the other day when we were here casting games, that this Reactor Hellion Expand is obviously the most popular opening in TVZ right now for Terrans. But we're going to see, looks like probably a, well, is he going to 1-Rax expand, or is he going to go ahead and make that factory, though? It's, let's see. I'm curious. I mean, we'll have to see after he finishes Supply Depot. That's when he's going to have enough gas for the factory. But
yeah, I think he would have put up the Tech Lab right now if he was doing a Reaper expand or something like that.
Yeah, just the fact that he's got the gas and he's not expanding, too. He obviously has a very clear plan for what he wants to do on this map. I'm really interested to see what that's going to be.
Yeah, more than likely Hellions, but find out here in just a second as there's the 100 gas for the factory. And the Barracks is finished, the SV coming back, and there's the factory.
Yep. It's a nice thing you can do is you can use the SCV that builds that second supply depot to build the factory. If you do it just right, it times out just perfectly.
And there we have it. Spawning Pool just finishing up for IdrA, but only now establishing his gas, so it'll be a lot later to circling speed. He'll have a very nice economic footing. We'll see how he wants to play this, of course, but Marines running across the map for Artist, so he may decide to put down a bunker just outside of the range, or at least force a few lings out of IdrA.
Well, you know what a couple of players have been doing back when this map was played quite a bit more, I mean, and on this map now too, is they do this type of expand and then try to expand to the base outside of their main and then use that other location as a very secure third too. So that could also be what Artist is planning. He did just start his command center up on the high ground though, so forget what I just said in the last 30 seconds, please.
No problem. Forgotten. What'd you say? Anyway, Reactor is going to take this factory here in a second. The first 2 Hellions should be coming out very, very soon. There they are, as this timed out very efficiently. And those Marines are going to make their way at their opponent here in a second. I don't know. I mean, I like at least he has them very, very exposed if they're just some sort of a forward warning system. Okay, there we go. I was either going to say poop or get off the pot because I'm doing the PG version of that statement here. So either run them in or get them back to your base, but don't expose them in the middle of the map for just scouting purposes.
Wait around, I guess.
No, I get vicious.
I guess so. So, you know, still 1 gas for Rain. Artist is pumping out some Hellions, trying to get a little bit of that map control, which he can now. His first 2 Hellions are nearing the base of IdrA. He wants to see if he can maybe sneak in, get some scouting done too, but IdrA is in such a great spot there. Yeah, the Spine Crawler burrowing just in time.
It does take out the Creep Tumor, though, so...
Yeah.
A nice little gain as Queen is going to have to come back and expend some more energy on throwing down another one. And Artis actually going after another CC, so this is going to be very, very quick 3 CC build. We saw him do something similar in the matches last night where he was very, very eco-minded. We'll see if it's going to work out, though.
Well, this really quick 3 command center thing is something that a lot of Terrans have been trying against Zerg for quite a while, basically the entire history of StarCraft 2, but I have yet to really see it kind of pick up as a very popular strategy. You see it frequently, but it's not popular at all.
And we'll see if he just goes right into Marine tank production now. Stimpack is forming at the moment, but I guess he just wants to play hold IdrA to 2 bases for a while kind of style, because if he doesn't, then IdrA's just going to be able to overrun him with a sheer quantity of units, because Artis is investing in a ton of infrastructure and not many units at the moment.
That is, I'm just like transfixed by those Hellions rallying back and forth in front of the Zerg base.
It's a dance party.
It's like there's going to be some real motion sick drivers in a little bit, I think. Like I'm in a heap of not trouble.
And Layer Tech just about to finish now for IdrA, putting that on his natural expansion. Those Hellions making their way up, and they are going to swing by and roast a few hold position Zerglings, actually doing a good bit of damage. Now they're going to have to retreat and get out there. Actually, IdrA had did a really nice thing there. He actually swung his Zerglings to the front, so he prevented the Hellions from escaping.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Rain Artist decided to just try to run him back out right away rather than at least do some scouting. I mean, he had to know that he was going to lose him, so a bit of a surprise there from him. Oh, look at that. He switched over. He's going to make some Vikings and then probably do some reactor and medevacs. Interesting.
Yeah, he's doing Marine tank Viking for the moment. Of course, 1 or 2 Vikings running across the map and just picking off Overlords. Very, very nice deterrent to further expansion. IdrA does have its 3rd base just coming up at the moment, though.
Yep. Now, this is always a map, too, where Zerg players said, you know, it's really tough for me to hold my 3rd base. And I think that's a big reason why Rain picked this map as well. So Rain Artist.
Yeah, he's putting up a couple of missile turrets as well. He figures that old IdrA is going to move into that Ling, Baneling, Muta phase, and indeed that is what's coming up. We have +1 weapons for melee units coming up in just a second. Baneling Nest being formed, Spire coming up as well, so we will have some harassment mutas pretty soon.
Yep. You know, I keep calling Rain Artist just Rain. It's just like there's Rainbow, there's Rain Artist, there's probably double rainbow somewhere, I don't know. It gets a little bit confusing sometimes.
Does that mean he's twice as cheesy?
I think so. Well, no one really knows what it means. What does it mean, Cat's Pajamas?
Let's see here. Artist going to make his way in with the Viking, though. Gets a good scout of his opponent, and will pick up on the Spire and Baneling Nest. His turrets were already coming down, though, so he's going to be pretty well defended against any sort of Muta harass. With the macro CC in place, too, his economy is quite good at the moment, despite his 9-worker deficit.
All right, so this is what I like to call the most exciting part of the game. Players are just sitting back, macroing, and there's sometimes a Viking that kills an unlucky Overlord.
Yes, that's true. But that's quite all right. So there are a few mutas out on the field now, and you know, Artist, he invested in infrastructure for a pretty long period of time. There was a moment where he was susceptible to an early attack, but now that he has that infrastructure in place, he can just basically endlessly pump units. Most of his upgrades are already there. Will need to throw in combat shields. Looks like it's just about to finish up, but he should just be able to produce wave after wave of units very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I mean, IdrA going to catch this missile turret before it comes up.
Yep, it was the calm before the storm, and now we're starting to see the first few bolts of lightning as IdrA tries to do some damage with these mutas. But, you know, Artist has got Marines in all the right places here. Oh, be careful with those mutas, IdrA, please. You almost lost a couple there.
Yeah, but Artist has pretty good Marine numbers at the moment. 33, as a matter of fact. He's producing off of 5 racks and actually going to a 6th at the moment.
Wow.
And he's actually going to a double factory as well. So his economy is in place. He's got a pretty defensible position. So, you know what? Artist is looking pretty good. I would expect IdrA to probably take a 4th here in the near future.
Well, this is really neat that Artist is just making a lot of barracks rather than making a couple and getting the add-ons as well. I mean, Terran players have seemed to always be a little bit afraid to just make a lot of buildings without add-ons and use those. But, you know, just because they feel like they're supposed to have them, I guess. Oh, that engineering bay might be in trouble, but What I'm saying is that you don't necessarily need the add-ons so early. Oh man, that engineering bay did not last very long. Artist did not respond in time. Instead, just stimmed a bunch of units for nothing.
Yeah, stimmed a ton of units up with only 2 medevacs on the field. That's going to run through their energy very quickly.
Yeah.
And that energy is very, very valuable. Stims up again, and those mutants get away.
Man, a lot of stims being taken by Artist right now. I mean, and that's doing way more damage to his Marines than IdrA could ever hope to do with those mutas at this point.
Yeah, it really is. Those medevacs are almost out of energy at the moment. I guess he is producing 2 at a time now. I guess just 1 in production actually at the moment because well, it's a sign of macroing pretty darn well when you're out of resources that close. But he still has a very scary force. I mean, let's not, you know, count Artist out of this. A little bit questionable decision making occasionally.
Be careful.
Yeah, doesn't actually bait another stim out of Artist, but yeah, as Artist is showing, he can make a very, very big push now.
Yeah. And IdrA, losing a muta, losing 2 mutas, flying right over those Marines. He's been a little bit cavalier with them, a little bit uncareful, unsafe. There we go. That's the word I was looking for.
Or
Drop
uncareful.
in the natural by Rain Artist right
yes,
now.
Indeed. And this spine crawler is going to go down momentarily as soon as he starts worrying about those forces. But IdrA is actually going to counterattack.
Oh, man,
catches the tanks out of position. The Banelings are rolling in, taking out most of the Marines. Beautiful burst there. IdrA steamrolling this force.
Man, IdrA just annihilating this 3rd base of Artist. Catching him on siege like that was so huge. And lifting your command center is not going to help you now, Artist. I'm sorry, man.
There's a pack of mutas there, yeah.
Oh, he's actually just going to ignore it. Maybe, I guess it will help you.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to go ahead and run into Artist main, starting to camp production structures.
You can just do that
Yeah,
now,
I mean, this drop is still doing damage, but a few units are going to be rallied in, and they are going to go away.
There's a big pack of Lings outside of the base that IdrA could really use right now.
Yeah,
okay, now he's sending him in a little bit late, but it probably doesn't even matter.
No.
I think IdrA is going to take the game right here. I believe he's going to do
there
it.
it is,
2-0.
GG. So IdrA advances into the round of 16.
Man, that was a very, very convincing series by EG IdrA. He played so